you might want to ask, well, but is there some limit to like how advanced a weapon that you can have?
Right.
Um, and then, like what most pro-gun people say, which seems reasonable to me, is the weapons that we issue to rank and file soldiers in our military, like we ordinary citizens should be able to have that kind of weapon.
Yeah.
So if there's a weapon that you think is too dangerous, if you think it's too dangerous for me to own, it must be too dangerous for just all the average soldiers to own, right?
Huh.
Right. Which is true about nuclear weapons. Like you would not give a single soldier control of a nuke.
Yeah, that's true.
Like you wouldn't it would never be that there's a single person who can launch a nuclear missile.
What about a tank? I don't have the same intuition about that. I could see most of the, I don't know, infantry or whoever like being cool with the tank.
Yeah. I'm okay with people owning tanks.
Okay.
Like, by the way, I mean, they're pretty expensive. So
Yeah, right.
if
right.
you're maybe like a few billionaires, right? Basically only billionaires would own them.
This is
So
why
like
we need positive rights. This is why we need. I have a right to a tank. Buy me a tank.
Yeah. So if Elon Musk was driving around in a tank, that would be fine with me.
Okay.
Now, if it gets to be a problem, then we could reconsider it, right? But right now, I just don't foresee there being like a big problem of people, too many tanks driving around,
Yeah.
blowing up buildings.
Well, so that's a point that I wanted to kind of flesh out a little bit more. Whether like the practical implications, and then like the actual like rights and moral implications. Like maybe you have a right to weapons that aren't very practical to have, and so like yeah, maybe practically, but maybe practically you won't own them, or I don't know, even like you shouldn't if you're wise, but you do have the right to that thing. And I'm wondering like if the practical implications actually affect the morality of it, the actual right itself.
Yeah. So you have a prima facie right to do anything that you want, regardless of the consequences. But your prima facie right might be outweighed because it's not absolute. So
Yeah.
Yeah, no, you have a prima facie right to own a nuclear weapon, right? As long as you're
Yeah.
not hurting anyone else with it, But that is outweighed by the risk of destroying the entire city that you live in, right?
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. Does that, so it would be more risky for me. Let me think. Let's say that I could develop a nuclear weapon, but I'm like kind of a bad engineer. I kind of have a bad track record of being negligent and stuff. But you have a really good track record, and you're super competent with nuclear fusion and fission and all sorts of stuff. So it seems like in this case, I want to give, it's more risky for me to have it than you. Do you have more of a right to own a nuke than I do?
well, I mean, I guess we have the same right, but there's more there's more reason against it in your case because there's more risk, right?
Okay.
I mean, but basically in both cases, our right is outweighed.
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
So, you might think, oh, but like humor is super careful. So like he would never have an accident.
Yeah.
Sure. But the rest of society can't know for sure that I'm not going to that I'm not a terrorist or whatever. By the way, if somebody's trying to build a nuclear bomb, come on, they're a terrorist. Because what else do you need a nuclear bomb for?
Yeah. Well, I was just thinking like the deterrent of like, I have a nuke, dude. Like, don't mess with me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I mean, like, there's no acceptable self-defense scenario in which you actually use it, right? So
Yeah.